Here we go. Another game of Division 1 and another top match. Both players have won their first game. Gonzo versus Quadryu, Khers versus Scotter. So whoever wins here has good chances of advancing as first place in Division 1. And Gonzo brings in the 19th Tankovi, whilst Khers brings in 352nd, which is a hot matchup for a hot map of Slutsk. So that's quite interesting. But before we go in there, once more, the sellout part of the stream. So not for me, but for the players, as you can contribute money for free to the tournament prize pool. All you have to do is click the claim code button up here, and you add 25 cents to the prize pool for free. And if you want to add more free money to the prize pool, you can visit, for example, Matcherino's website, or do other things down here on the right that add more free money to the prize pool. And if you then feel like you still want to give more, then you can maybe go into your own pocket and add a bit more money there as well. Like a couple of really generous people have done already over here. And yeah, if we go up to the next $200, we get a prize pool for all the lower divisions as well. So not just the top dogs will get the money then, but also the winners of Division 2 to 5. And if you get is up to 400, you can see me suffer real bad, because then I have to play Korik a whole stream in ranked, and that will be tough because Korik currently is utter trash. But if you want to see me suffer and give more dollaroos to players who absolutely deserve to get those dollaroos by playing amazingly, then you gotta bring this up to 400 bucks. Exclamation mark Matcherino in the chat to get there, and on YouTube down below in the description you can find the link. So yeah, let's get into the game. Gonzo versus Khers. And that is a hot matchup, because Gonzo is bringing in a division that I have played in tournament games before, and I have won with it, but it's only really usable on some maps. Those Slutsk, the normal Slutsk is one of them, because 19th Tankovi lacks infantry like few other divisions. You at least get a good support tab where you get MGs, where you get SU-152s, but your tank and your infantry cards are pretty expensive. So you gotta be really careful with every single of your infantry squads out there. Meanwhile, 352nd on the other side doesn't have the greatest infantry either, but it has a lot of grenadiers. It has these amazing Panzerjäger 35R, though on a long range map like that, they ain't shining as much as on other maps. But they also have the Jagdpanther, which is a unit that can stop the IS-2s of 19th parking. 19th gets some SU-152s, it gets T-34-85s, and it gets IS-2s. So it has the creme de la creme of the Soviet tanks and supports in its arsenal, but really the infantry is the issue. The infantry we see so far is Radvedkas, Tankos, and Strelki DPs moving up to the north, so a lot of the good infantry cards already used here. Khers also coming in with Vanguard, by the way, against the Maverick income for Gonzo. So, like, we have seen Khers win against Skotter with Vanguard, but I don't feel like this map is a good Vanguard map. So I'm surprised to see it here. Also, 352nd, not the division I would say, oh yeah, Vanguard is where it feels home. But we will see. Isla Storch down here for 15 points, giving some recon. MG42s, IG18s, and SCO will try to make the breakthroughs happen in the south, but the SU-152 on the long range can be brutal here. Oh my god, this could be an absolute slaughter. PAK-43 will try to come up and do something against it, but if there's nothing to stop this SU-152, that alone could slaughter the whole push here. So we will see. Khers now bringing in an HS-129, that could do the job. 37mm still a bit out. No fighter in the skies so far, so that is most likely a kill here for Khers. Question is, will a fighter come in to hunt that HS-129 down afterwards? HS-129 gets on target, gets some penetrations, gets the kill. So far so good. Meanwhile, Gonzo with a push in the north. A lot of Tankeres and Nikis. Panzer 35T tries to hold the line. Pak 36 falling already. Not that many infantry units up here for Khers, as units so far mostly went to the south. HS-129 will now get out. Okay, so the infantry push worked out so far. Yak 3 now on the hunt. Will for sure get the Fieseler Storch. Question is, can it hunt down the HS-129 as well? But that's a bit unlikely. AAP is coming up for Khers as well. Wants to obviously push through here. Pak 43 is a good unit here. Panzerjäger 35 moving around as well. M42 now trying to use its HE shell. Grenadiers moving in as well. MG42 could be helpful from the long ranges. IG-18 also would be nice, but the M42 is in a good spot when it comes to line of sight. Not in line of sight of the IG-18s. Yak 3 now at least tries to stay around to do some strafing. 13-11 for Khers, but that's obviously nothing decisive at all in this matchup. Still way more about the kills at the moment than it is about the flags. And we'll see if Khers can get an advantage in that regard as well. Obviously the kill onto the SD-152 was important, as there won't be super many of these around. Like most likely one card in A, one card in B. That means 6 SU-152s in general. And obviously only 2 in the first 10 minutes. So, second one is now out. Still a dangerous unit. Pak 43 here in a good spot. Tanko de Sanikis will try to go deep. But that might be stopped by this Pak 43. Oh, Pak 43 not getting the kill, but forcing the unload at least. And its HE shells should be good enough to kill off the Tanko de Saniki, or at least pin them down eventually as well. IG-18 trying to help out as well, so these Tanko de Sanikis won't make it into these buildings. Gonzo has to retreat with them. But T-34-85 and SU-152 are coming up. SU-152 already with the shoot at position order. And will try to stun down the Pak 43 from outside of its range. Whilst the M42 here is in a spot where it can be nasty for the Panzerjäger 35. SU-85 from over here also helping out. HS-129 though, now coming around here. AAPs is further in the south. Yak is on the battlefield though. AAPs trying to help out. BF-109 trying to help out. BF-109 not really doing too much damage there. But the AAPs could be able to pin down the Yak 3 before that can kill off the HS-129. SU though, not falling. Yak 3 doing some good damage. AAP's trying to finish that off. And the 0-star veterancy here on the Flak 36 is the issue here, I guess, for Khers. Finally getting the pin down on the Yak 3 though, so the HS-129 will be able to disengage. SU-85 still alive though. North still on the same spot that we left it when we last looked here. Tankerus and Nikki's in the forest. No push from Gonzo there just yet. Could happen though, as the position for Gonzo's unit there is not too bad. MG42's in the rear. Strelky DP coming in from the other side. Tanko de Sanikis will follow them soon. Whilst the Martyr is trying to get into a position where it can snipe down on this road. Maxim is in a pivotal position as well though. And now the SU-152 is trying its best to pin down the Pak 43, and the first shot wasn't bad. Getting some good damage in there. Khers has to retreat there. 1410 is going on. MG42 here also doing some good damage. Gonzo getting ticked down, but 1410 obviously nothing decisive. One more flag would be necessary for getting a faster tick rate. A tick rate that really matters. The 15-9 tick rate is the brutal thing in Steel Division. 1311 and 1410 not really anything that you have to worry about usually. IG-18 here though goes down to the SU-152, and these will be the big problem, I would say, for Khers. Like IS-2s, you have the Pak 43s, you have the Yak Panthers, you have some airplanes and stuff, and they are pretty costly. But the SU-152 is just so cost efficient. Just so cost efficient for 60 points. SU-85 from over here, trying to help out against the IG-18. Meanwhile, Maxim over here getting some good damage onto the Grenadier MG42 as well. Martyr trying to come in. Gets hit by a lot of forces as well though. Doesn't survive that engagement either. And Maxim's... Khers maybe a bit over aggressive now. I mean, you have the long game advantage with Vanguard versus Maverick as well. Or like, not really advantage, but you can play the long game, as you have more income than Maverick in C phase. And though if you overextend in A phase, and then B phase income for Maverick kicks in, and you get overwhelmed by the reinforcements they can bring in at once, you are in a bit of a pickle. So let's see if Khers is ready for the transition from him having the point advantage to Gonzo having the point advantage in B. Because currently these all still seem to be in an attack mode, and I feel like as the first move failed, Khers should start to think about the defense more than the offense right now. Meanwhile, Gonzo brought in some movement now in the north. Tankerus and Nikki's moved a bit around. Grenadiers here getting forced back. Strelky DP engaging them there. More Strelky DP on the way. So Gonzo setting up some engagements up in the north. 12-12 is back on the menu. Gonzo ticked down slightly, but obviously, once more, nothing decisive there when it comes to point difference. Couple of minutes that Gonzo will have to have a 13-11 to balance that out in the long run. But as we are only 1 minute and 30 seconds away from B-phase, that should be doable there. IS-2 now on the battlefield. Pak-43 goes down to the SU-152, and that's a big loss here for our player in blue, as the IS-2 would be countered pretty well by that Pak-43. SU-152 really an absolute important unit here for Gonzo. Meanwhile, the breakthrough here in the middle, I guess, is a success, but you really shouldn't overextend. As Khers, you shouldn't overextend. Grenadier MG42, the buff that made this division at least slightly a good bit better, actually, when these went from normal Grenadiers to Grenadiers with MG42s, helped out the 352nd by quite a bit. I would still say on most maps and in most matchups, it's not a great division, but in this matchup, I guess it's actually competitive, as you don't have to worry about super great infantry on the other side. You have to deal with other things, because if you are forced into trading out with opponents' infantries time and again, then 352nd usually will lose you there. It will lose you the game in that aspect. But if you have to fight enemy tanks and enemy support guns and artillery battles, then 352nd gives you the tools to do so. The Jagd Panthers, the Pak-40s, the Panzerjägers 35R that just got the kill there on his Su-76, for example. Good artillery tap as well with Nebelwerfers and co. Long-range fire support of the IGs. Like in these battles, the 352nd is nothing to sneeze at. And as in the infantry department, 19th Parking doesn't offer too much either. Can hold the line there with the infantry you get. You don't need to storm into a lot of CQC infantry with your few pioneers and one card of Stoßtruppen. You can just fight on the long ranges with your Grenadiers and your Grenadier MG42s and trade relatively efficiently on those. 12-12 is going on here. Gonzo now has the big income advantage. Lost the Su-152 over here. 2 more coming in. So now 2 more will be in reserve, as this most likely will be a B-phase card. So 2 out of 6 down. That's a decent rate. Another Pak-43 coming in. Jagd Panther, as I said, on the way. That thing can ambush the IS-2, that would be great. It was coming around the wrong way, though. That could be dangerous. You don't want to fight the IS-2 1v1 with the Jagd Panther. I mean, by now you at least have a decent rate of fire of 7. But if you fight this 1v1, you will be in trouble. As the IS-2 only needs 1 penetration to blow you out of existence. And that is possible, as the frontal armor of the Jagd Panther is not amazing against IS-2s. It's enough against T-34-85s and most medium tanks, but it's not that great against any heavy tonks. HS-129 here, trying to sneak by, trying to get a kill onto the SU-152. Not quite under the AA umbrella of Khers itself though, and the 37mm eventually will come in. So I wonder if Gonzo will be able to punish this. SU-152 though will fall first, but Yak-3 on the way, and I think this HS-129 is dead. And I'm not quite sure if this sacrifice was worthwhile. Yak-3 gets the kill. I mean, yes. By now, half of Gonzo's SU-152s got killed off. But, tough. I mean, it killed 2 SU-152s, so I guess overall it paid off. Did some damage to the SU-85, didn't quite get the kill there. But still, just suiciding it in is an interesting choice here by Khers. Another SU-152 comes up once more. So only one, oh no, the last one is also out in the north now. So no SU-152s remaining in Gonzo's deck. All 6 have been played. As you would expect, as these units are just too cost efficient to not use up early on. Katyusha battery coming in as well. Okay, that's interesting. Katyusha's a unit that we don't see too often, as their rockets do a lot of solid pinning, and if they hit, they also do some damage, but they are somewhat unreliable. Another plane getting killed off here by Gonzo though. There's maybe a bit too overeager with the planes there. Still wants to push here though. And actually that might be a good spot for a push. PTRS goes down, so the Grenadiers can roll forward. And only a couple of Tanker Sanikis in the way. But these are in a decent spot when it comes to line of sight at least. One Panzer Grenadier, or one normal Grenadier, gets overwhelmed there. 12 stealth is still going on. Yak Panther in the spot where the T-34-85 and the SU-152 have to be really careful. As 2 disengaging for now as well. Khers might actually go up to 1311 here. Maxim goes down to the Pak-43. But the Katyusha will try to kill that Pak-43. Maxim under fire once more. Katyushas though on this range not 100% accurate, as you can see, yeah. They do some stress damage, but they get the kill on to the Pak-43, they get the kill onto the Marder, and they push back the Yak Panther. So the IS-2 a bit too far out. Shouldn't be fast enough. Yak Panther relatively mobile for such a big vehicle. Should be able to get out. 1311 now for Khers once more. In B phase here. Pak-40 trying to help out with some HE shells. Hitting the Maxim. Stuck over here. Would be amazing if it could get the kill onto the SU. Nothing here to protect the SU against it. So if Khers can move it up, that SU-152 would be toast. That would be a great kill. Reducing the numbers down to 2. Not quite having the line of sight just yet though. But could easily move up there now. Gonzo still not pushing any deeper in the north. Would have the advantage there. Good for Khers that doesn't happen. Instead, Khers currently up on the 1410. Still pushing in the mid of B phase. But now the Gonzo's income advantage really should start to kick in. And now Gonzo will have overtaken Khers in income. With the next tick for sure. And then that will stay this way for the next 25 minutes. Stuck, not able to kill off the SU-152 in the end. Khers a bit too slow, and Gonzo now disengaging with the SU-152. Missing out onto the opportunity there. Yak Panther still in the rear. Katyusha's getting reloaded. Another Katyusha has come up. Grenadier trying to hold the line. SU-152 will try to hit the Grenadier over here. And should deal good damage there once it does. Obviously not the highest rate of fire with these big shells. Grenadiers go down. Off map coming in for Khers. 300 80mm. That could be devastating in the north. Like, there's a lot of unit saturation in this small bit of area here for Gonzo, as a lot of units have been brought in, but not used at all. Meanwhile, Gonzo going for counter push through the center, it looks like. That's interesting. A lot of Strelky coming up. Katyusha is around. Meanwhile, a second Yak Panther in the south, but once more, Gonzo quick on the reaction this time. SU-152 disengaging, not letting itself be caught by the Yak Panther. Strelky also unloading in time to not get killed in transport. And the Yak Panther has only 15 HE rounds even. So... And the HE shells are decent, but not amazing, of this 88mm gun. Meanwhile, Strelky coming in over here in big numbers. And the fourth Katyusha is on the battlefield. Off map of Khers in the north. Could be pretty scary. Stoßtrupp in here. Ooh, get killed off a PTRS though. At least the off map doesn't get hit there. PTRS in a nasty spot. Grenadier MG42 will try to retaliate. And the off map is now coming in. 380mm off map has a bit of the problem that it is only firing a couple of shots. And the RNG aspect is quite big. If it hits, it annihilates. If it doesn't hit, it might not do too much. It at least stuns, but yeah, once more here. You can see the hits this time more around here than directly on the units where they were supposed to go. So, a bit unlucky there for Khers. But at the meantime, a big push by Gonzo around here in the south. Yak Panther trying to hold the hill. Trying to help out. That's a nice 2 is rolling forward. Sicherungs on the way from the rear as well. AS2 moving in. Katyusha will try to deal with the Yak Panther. Another Katyusha is reloading. 1410 for Khers continues. Gonzo by now ticked down by a good bit, but obviously still 30 minutes to go. 31 minutes. And Gonzo is on the push at the moment. Yak 3 coming in. We had seen a really close game between Gonzo and Quadryu. Let's see if this game might go as clutch here once more. Yak 3 trying to be used as strafers. Not super successful in that regard. Another Pak 40 coming up. IG-33 trying to pin down the Strelkies. That's another T-34-85 is on the battlefield as well. Northern push for Khers, not as quick as maybe hoped. Really the off map being a bit disappointing, only killing off half a squad there or so. That's why 380mm is not something that you get every time. Because it's a pretty expensive off map as well. And I mean, yes, if it hits, it can kill off tanks, it can kill off infantry squadrons with one single hit. But the big question is, does it hit? 1410 here now. And you only get 2 salvos out of these as well. Could go up to a 59. If it goes up to a 59, Gonzo will be under pressure. That's for sure. As getting ticked down by a 59 means that you will have to get a lot of space back from the rear. T-34 here gets actually killed by the Panzer 35 and the Pak 36. Good combo here. So Strelky's under fire. The second off map should still be around. This falls. The 59 is ahead of us. Thanks for the follow, Versagen and Sietong21. Much appreciated. Welcome to the channel. Hope you're enjoying this competitive game here. Ooh, Gonzo pushing over the ridge. Yak Panther got pushed back by the Katyusha, but is still around. And the T-34-85 is running into it. AAPs got killed off. Pak 40 still around as well though. Ooh, T-34-85 is able to retreat in time, whilst Maris rolling in big numbers from the rear. IS-2 and SU-152 pushing in over here. Yak Panther not in the spot to retaliate there just yet. Pak 40 here has to be careful. Ooh, should try to disengage. Is getting now hit by the Strelkies. That's not great. That's not a position you want to have a Pak 40 in. Gonzo really wants to put up the pressure now here. And SU-152 moving in. The one in the north still alive. IS-2 backing it up now as well. And the flag here is not held by too many forces anymore. Meanwhile, Grenadier moving in the north. Not the most successful endeavor ever. But a lot more infantry coming in. And we are now in sea phase. Meanwhile though, Katyushas get the kill into the Yak Panther. Another good kill there. After they killed the Pak-43 before. So Yak Panther down. T-34 is now could move forward maybe. Still got to account for the Pak-40 though. And the Marder 2s will try their best as well to stop this. Katyusha sitting around, getting reloaded. Pak-40 with a good hit. SU-185 goes down. SU-152 from the rear gets the kill though with an HE shell. T-345 on the move, doesn't get the kill there. SU-152 has to be careful, but so does the IS-2. IS-2 gets shot here. Marder now in trouble, but in a range where they can deal damage, and the IS-2 is damaged. And now loader knocked out, so is stuck. Should try to retreat. IG-33 tries to get some shots off onto it as well. Marders get the kill. Good kill there for sure for Khers. Marder 2 on its own now in itself. S-85 went down, but Pak-40 and one Marder 2 also. Well, not getting the penetration on that T-34-85, so the south might fall. As on this range now, the Pak-40 has a tough time penetrating the T-34-85. Meanwhile, T-34-85 should have an easy time, but Marder gets the penetration, so gets the kill. SU-152, last remaining tank down here in the south. IS-2 also got killed off over here, so good moves there for sure. Katyusha once more firing into the south. Gonzo didn't change target. Super waste of ammo and time here, especially, as the Katyushas will take a good while to reload. Marder goes down though. Gonzo caught the rockets, I think, halfway through, so they didn't use all their shots at least. And Khers once more up to a 13-11, but Gonzo might get close to a 12-12 with taking the south. Meanwhile, the next off map of the 380mm goes onto the IS-2 and the SU-152. But there's not much follow-up on top of it. So Khers really just doing this for the damage, and I'm not quite sure if this is worthwhile or if you not rather just should try to kill the infantry in the north with it. We will see how effective this 380mm off map will be, as it's coming in now. Okay, SU-152 got hit pretty well, gets killed off. Not too many hits directly around the IS-2 though. So IS-2 seems to survive. Yeah, there we go. So a decent off map, I guess. But obviously some more damage on the IS-2 would be helpful as well. Maybe enough that you only need one penetration afterwards to get the kill. But SU-152 is coming around over here. And is still putting up some pressure. The south still falls into Gonzo's hand, even though the IS-2, the T-34-85 and the SU-85 have fallen. And another T-34-85 coming up, and obviously reinforcing the south right now is super expensive. So Khers kinda needs to keep the Panther alive, whilst this 12-12 is happening. IS-2 over here. Tries to deal with the Panther Grenadier. Well, with the Grenadier MG42 up there. No anti-tank around. It could scare the IS-2. Yak Panther not in position. Pak-36 coming up. Will try to get the kill there with a small little rocket at 750 meter. While the Katyusha in the rear are reloading. And these, if they get another kill onto another Yak Panther, that would be devastating for the defensive line here. Another Yak Panther on the way. Okay, so that should allow Khers to push back. And Khers only needs to hold the 12-12 now for the next 24 minutes. Or like at least for like 14 out of these next 24 minutes. But that obviously against Gonzo is never easy. More supply trucks coming in for the Katyushas. What's an OT-34 is moving forward. SDKFZ gets killed off. Yak Panther coming in from the rear. Ooh, crew knocked out by the SU-152. And it's retreating again. Yeah, Panther couldn't get a shot from over here either. 13-11 for our player in red. Picking Khers down slowly. And he is trying to hold the line against the Automachiki. Automachiki, I need to be careful. We'll survive for now. Tanks over here are down. Yak Panther in a good rear spot, but the SC-152 is doing a good job so far at keeping stuff at bay. Sicherungs coming out all around the map. 2 SC-152s still here. No AA around to protect any HS-129s that could try to come in and help out against those. Meanwhile, Sicherungs coming in big numbers. And Khers with the 10-point advantage again. Getting like 1 infantry squad every 2 minutes extra on the battlefield now. So can play the long game slightly better. Nothing super decisive, but just meaning that in the really long game it balances out again between Maverick and Vanguard. SU-152 tries to hit some infantry. Yak Panther not around to stop it. So Gonzo now on a 59, and that's not great. That's not what Khers wants to hear at all. The 14-10 way better. Needs to try to get back there. Tries to move in here. IS-2 still around. Pak 40 could maybe come in with some side shots though. Is aiming. If this IS-2 would go down, that would be great. Does bounce only though. And now it most likely will have frontal shots, and those have really little chance of penetration. Or even no chance on this range. And the 59 for Gonzo continues. Yak Panther trying its best down in the south. So parries and a lot of Automachikis coming in here though. For our player in blue. For our player in red. So Yak Panther trying its best. Getting some hits onto the OT-34. Not quite finishing it off though. Another OT-34 sitting around here. Sicherungs coming in the numbers. Whilst the Automachiki in the north get the breakthrough. Clearly holding the line over here. OT-34 will get the Ersatztruppen most likely. 14-10 for Gonzo. Katyushas moving forward. Trying to get into a position where they can hit the Yak Panther. Yak Panther over here gets a Studebaker. Gonzo really wants to win this game now. Marder versus OT-34. Not great for the OT-34, but once more survives. Katyushas setting up to hit another Yak Panther. The quadruple Katyusha play here. Automachiki trying to move around. Not getting stopped right now. Sicherungs will be on the way, but they ain't there just yet. MG42 though now will open fire, but the Aufklärers will fall beforehand most likely. Before this can be pinned down. So that should be a kill. 14-10 here now for Gonzo. So parry under fire. Yak Panther engaging down here. Katyusha though onto the Panther now. Is that another Panther going down? Doesn't have good side armor, so any hits onto its side are great at dealing damage to this tank. But it seems like the Yak Panther is surviving for now. Sicherung's trying to come in. Automachiki though want to ambush it. The Sicherung needs to be super careful. 1 goes down, 2 go down. 1 to the AT grenade, 1 to the firepower of the Automachiki itself. Bad loss for Khers. Obviously, every single infantry unit currently is super expensive. Okay, second Katyusha fires onto the same spot. A bit of a waste of Katyushas here. Not great for Gonzo. Yak 3 in the skies. Sicherungs moving forward. Yak Panther hitting some infantry. Okay, another part of the Katyusha rocket barrage now hitting this Yak Panther though. And here, quite a couple of rockets are pretty good on target, and they get the kill here. IG-33 falling back. All Katyushas now out of ammo. Light rock on the way though. Killing the Yak Panther here is big. Su-85 now also can follow up onto the Marder. Katyusha's absolutely pivotal in the play of Gonzo here. Super good usage of them throughout this game so far. Showing you what you can do with some good old rockets. Sicherungs Moving forward, Automachiki in great defensive spots though. And Gonzo is eating up the advantage that Khers had built up in the first 20 minutes of the game. Slowly but surely. Meanwhile, Katyusha sitting in the rear. Side armor hits just deal more damage. Like, you don't need them, but like armor also still affects these things. That's why Panthers and so on go way easier down to bombs and rockets than Tigers, for example. Like, one more reason why Tigers are pretty nice is they don't die to bombs as easily because they have better side armor. Bombs and rockets. Compared to Panthers and Yak Panthers, which have abysmal side armor and rear armor. Like 40. Moving forward. Like, frontal hits still deal good damage, and top hits, I don't know if they modeled top hits for rockets. I think they did, and those obviously also great as well, even against strong top armor. Rockets like that deal damage, but I'm not quite sure if that's modeled. Just know that, yeah, if you hit on the side, you deal side damage to the armor. If the rocket hits behind, it deals rear damage. If it hits in front, it deals frontal damage, and that is not that much against a 140mm tank. Not quite sure if direct hits, what direct hits do. If they hit top armor, or if they hit all somehow. How that is calculated. Yak Panther here, in a good spot. Yes, gets another flag back. Needs a 12-12, obviously. And the push in the north is getting close to that, but the IS-2 still holding out. Shooter down. Don't think there's too much of a chance of winning here though, even with the APCR. And Khers is disengaging for now. 12-12 would be nice here. Katyushas in big numbers. Sicherung's coming around. Another Yak Panther, but yeah, the Katyushas need to be stopped, and I'm not sure how. Like, there's no counter battery or so coming out of Khers at all. No artillery at the moment, or at any point on the battlefield. SU-152 also coming around. Yak Panther will try to retaliate. Once more missing here. Will reload though relatively quickly. Faster than the SU-152. Still missing. Oh god, that's unlucky. SU-152 now will try to disengage. Yak Panther will get another shot off. Gets a penetration, but not a kill just yet. Will try to get another one off. And should get the kill there with that one. Yes, it does. So, one more SU-152 down. We are down to only one on the battlefield right now. And Khers still has some minutes left to turn this game around. Katyusha's getting reloaded. Khers needs the 12-12. Either break the position down here or the position there. Or maybe even the position up here or here. The IS-2 obviously in the way of that. Has a 37mm behind it. B-25 bombing run coming in onto the Sicherungs. Sicherungs already getting spread out. Good move there by Khers. One will run into the IS-2, but that's not too problematic. As long as the other one doesn't get dealt too much damage. Okay, both take damage. None go down completely. Katyushas will try to get a hit onto another Yak Panther. Yak Panther should be constantly moving, basically. Not doing so right here, right now. T-34-85 on the hill. Yak Panther trying to move around. Katyushas are so dangerous here right now. IS-2 in the open. Keeping Gonzo up top, alive in the north. No Yak Panthers, no Pak 43s around for here anymore. So that's a problem. It's a big old problem. Katyusha will try to come around. IS-2 and SU-85 will try to bounce onto that afterwards. Another AAP's coming in. Dostruppen now on the move to try to get in here. Try to get this flag. Sicherungs helping out. Yak Panther will most likely get caught by these Katyushas. Katyushas also trying to fire onto the other Yak Panther. If both go down, that would be super devastating here for Khers. As at least one of these needs to stay alive. At least one of these needs to stay alive. Obviously both would be better, but if both fall, this game is basically over. Then the southern flank is completely lost. First one goes down. Yak 3 here stays around. A bit too long, maybe. Already trailing black smoke. Katyushas get one hint. Okay. Trying to get the kill here is Gonzo. Both fighters forced back. One might even go down here. KFZ on the cover. Katyusha's now firing. And this is not great for Khers. Oh no, even the SDKFZ might run into this. Oh no, oh no, oh no. Not looking. Ah, this is brutal. Yak Panther surviving for now, but gets pushed back. IS-2 and SU-85 could pounce on that. Speerwagen trying to get into position. Sicherung's falling back as well. 12-12 is achieved for now. But the question is, can that be held? Supply truck obviously kind of needed here for that Pak 40. Anti-tank gun from over here could be helpful as well. 12-12 would be enough for Khers, but I don't quite see how that can be held. The Katyushas will reload once more, and then the Yak Panther will be in trouble. No smoke around here. No artillery play whatsoever. IS-2 does miss for now. So the Yak Panther at least has a chance of getting out of range. 13-11 once more for Gonzo though, as the flag falls up in the north. And the IS-2 is still around. IS-2 running low on EG shells somewhat. Pak 40 needs to disengage. 12-12 still up. Another Pak 40 tries to come in. More Katyusha rockets. Not quite getting the kill, but Pak 36 doesn't want to be here on this spot. Sicherung's getting hit by the SU-152. The Katyushas are brutal. The Katyushas are brutal. Doing so much work here. Without the Katyushas, Gonzo would have had way tougher time here in this game. But super well used. Northern position held by a single IS-2. It really shows you how nasty these things can be. Off map not being able to get the kill there. And affording something that can deal with them right now is not quite in the budget for Khers. Yak Panther trying to move around. 13-11 still going on for Gonzo. Katyushas sitting in the open. Sicherung's trying to come up, but the 14-10 is real. Flak 41 coming in. Sicherung's coming in as well. Flak 40. Ooh, engaging the OT-34. That's a good target for sure. That should die relatively quickly. Yeah, goes down. Flak 40 now wants to move forward, but will take a while to get anywhere. 11 minutes remaining. Khers is like 2 or 3 minutes and ticks up. But now it's a 59, and that means that Gonzo will get the takedown onto Khers pretty quickly now. Flag in the north though is falling. Okay, reduces the take of Khers. Or of Gonzo onto Khers. Yak Panther might want to try to come around. IS-2 still is around here as well. Flak 41 moving forward. IS-2 in a super good spot. Sicherungs will get hit. Grenadier MG42 engaging the Strelky over here. The other Grenadier MG42 trying to move in there. Wants to get this flag obviously. Machiki in the north needs to be beaten. Gonzo is bringing in the supply truck to help out the IS-2 as it is running really low on HE shells now. And Khers doesn't really have a good angle here on any flag at the moment. Can't beat the IS-2. Even with APCRs, killing off the IS-2 ain't easy. And the Katyushas kill off time and again the counters that he can bring to the battlefield. Killing off 3 Yak Panthers by now. Sicherung's trying to come in. That's Trippin. Want to get in here as well. Velky holding the line against the Grenadier, MG42. Supply truck is here for the IS-2, so IS-2 will be kept reloaded. Panzerjäger and Speerwagen will try to come in. Maybe try to attempt to keep the IS-2 looking into one direction and then come in with the Pak 40 and side shot it. As even from the side, with its 100mm side armor, the IS-2 is hard to kill for a Panzerjäger or a Speerwagen. So, Will be interesting. Flag 41 on a good job here on top of the OT-34s. They need to retreat. IS-2 here, aiming now on top of the Yak Panther. Yak Panther trying to get on top of it as well. IS-2 still reloading. Gets the shot off. Gets the kill though. And that's brutal. If this Yak Panther would have gotten the kill onto the IS-2, maybe there could have been some action down here again. But this way around, Gonzo has the lockdown, and with that, I don't see a way of how Khers can come back here, as Gonzo now is also up in the ticks. And the Katyushas once more will fire onto the Flak 41. Good hits there. Getting the kill. And this is bloody awful for our player in blue. Gonzo seems to be on a good way to get the 1-0 up here over his opponent. Once more in a league game. One step closer to the playoffs. Our reigning champion. As don't think Khers has the forces to overwhelm the IS-2 in the north. And the 12-12 now is not good enough anymore. And you would need an overwhelming victory in the north to even out the lost flags in the south. As 4 flags have been lost down here. And I don't think that's in the cards anymore within 7 minutes with only 90 points of income for our player in blue. And especially also without any more Yak Panthers or other big caliber guns to be brought in. Yeah, Gonzo is going ahead here and staying ahead. So what a game. What an interesting game. Pretty interesting matchup, as I said, a matchup that we don't see too often, but that's really, like the matchups we currently see in League really speak for the balance that we have achieved by now in Steel Division. As there are a lot of matchups of divisions that you only see once or twice a season, because they fit that income, that they fit that map, they fit that matchup, they are the counter pick, and they are functional. I mean, both sides here could have taken the victory, and both divisions fit the map pretty well. I would say 90. I would guess that 19 was the first pick and then 352nd was the counter pick. I'm not quite sure though. Maybe if Gonzo or Khers is in the chat, they can let us know who picked what here, who picked what first. But it's a great victory here for Gonzo. Important step towards the playoffs. Rajvetka's moving in. And it seems to line up for it pretty well. Rajvetka moving in, 59. Yeah, there's just nothing left here in this game 1. Was a good game by Khers though. But the Katyushas broke his back and he didn't have anything to retaliate on top of that. Maybe should have tried to strike them with some rockets also, but the Katyushas are mobile, which makes them quite annoying as well to deal with. And Gonzo just used them so well. Using this, one of the weaknesses of the Yak Panthers against them there. E25 coming in, and Khers surrenders. Giving Gonzo game number 1 here. And in the end, the KD was quite one-sided, but I'm pretty sure that was not the KD throughout the game. Pretty sure Khers was quite a bit closer for a good while. Just in the end, it obviously spiraled out of control. And Gonzo takes map number 1, but we will go into the next one within the next 3 minutes, so don't run away. See you all there. Let's have a look on the Katyusha kills first. T-34s. IS-2s also did their job. This SU-152s in the south was nasty. Killing off 2 martyrs. Another one with some great kills. Katyusha killing a Yak Panther, killing a Pak-43, killing a martyr. And this Katyusha killing another Yak Panther, another martyr. Pak-41 and martyr. And the last one, did the last one not make any kills? No, another Yak Panther. So yeah, they for sure paid off. And the IS-2s and so on could then do the rest. This was the one that got the kill in the Yak Panther IS-2 duel in the end. Unlucky there for Khers. If that would have gone differently, that might have been a sliver of chance again. But with that going down, all hope was lost. But even if it would have gotten the kill, it most likely would have died to the next Katyusha battery. So good counterplay there by Gonzo. Really showing the knowledge, the finesse of this Spanish beast. And knowing, oh, here we go. Game number 2 between Khers and Gonzo, and it's once more a really interesting division matchup. As on the left side, Gonzo in red brings in one of my favorite divisions of all time, the good old third VDV, whilst Khers brings in a division I also had an interesting intermezzo with lately. Khers brings in Verteidigungsbereich Toulon. If you watched my YouTube channel or watched the live games last Wednesday, I think, you were able to see me running into a player called Attack Power Gaming playing them. It was an interesting game as well, as this division has a lot of unique features. Some elite Brandenburgers, some really fast transports with the tractions, including 4 the small little Italian guns that can be pretty annoying when they can lock you down from those positions that they can get in with the speed of the traction. And then they have a lot of big guns, but few of them on vehicle basis, or none of them on a vehicle. Most of them come in only being pushed around by their crews. Flak 38s with 105mm, for example, or IG-33, or Pak 43s. But especially the Pak 43 is overkill against Gonzo's division here, as that is all about the cheap infantry. There's Janiki DTs with 3 DTs rifles, since the buff to those amazing long-range fire support. Sturmovikis and 15-point Desert Nikis. Cheap 15-point 8 Automachiki 8 SMG squadrons. The slightly smaller but also cheaper Automachiki. Tanko Desert Nikis coming around as well with their Molotovs and with the 50 cal half-track, which got its ammo buffed, so those are more helpful now as well. So, currently overwhelming force for Gonzo in the north, but also fire support and firepower advantage for Khers in the south. So should be interesting how this plays out. As if Khers can push this advantage and get up here, Gonzo could be in struggle here, but obviously also if Gonzo can push Khers completely out of this town, Khers will have a tough time ever coming back in the north as well. And there's a lot of Dejant Radredka and Dejan Niki DT with DT rifles now firing onto the Brandenburgers and co. Sturmoviki is also bringing a single DT around. So a lot of firepower here. Mech trying to help out from the rear. But there's just so many more units around here. 50 cal now also moving forward. So Gonzo slowly but surely getting the upper hand here. Storm Pioneers facing Sturmoviki Rocks. Double Flamer versus Single Flamer, so you would need both Storm Pioneers to win that engagement. More infantry coming in here for Khers. We'll try to get an assault onto this hill, but the northern situation obviously not great. Tries to get some reinforcements in here with some cheap light tanks. Storm Pioneers and Grenadier first to at least hold the outskirts of the town. Obviously the center now under full control by Gonzo. Kriegsmarine infantry also getting pinned down. Stuk trying to help out. Snipers and MG42s also on the way. Martyr coming in here now. Stuk engaging onto the OB25 there. Whilst Gonzo will bring in some infantry to the southern hill. Central hill though is the one that Khers is trying to get the victory upon. And there are only 2 Deshaniki DTs coming in. I don't think that will be enough to keep this at bay for too long. Stuk trying to get some kills in here. Not dealing too much damage. These units here should be moving faster forward as well. They're not really doing that though. And the OB25 actually gets the kill onto the Martyr. Not a great situation there for Khers. This off-map might be great though. And there's a lot of targets here in front of this AR-196. A unit that is unique to this division and... is it Nordland? No, what is the other divisions that get them? Großdeutschland? One of them, the one that gets the fire support by the Prince Eugen, also has them. It's an interesting little recon plane, because what a lot of people don't know is that it has 2 20mm cannons in its wings, so it can actually 1v1 fighter planes, and a lot of people don't know that, and they go head on with you, and then especially with cheaper fighters, you can just kill them out in a head-on. So you gotta be careful around these. If you have only weak fighters. Obviously, if you have a Tempest or so, it doesn't matter. If you have anything with more than 220mm or medium resilience, you should still win a head-on as well. But if you only have a single 20mm or no 20mm at all, then you should be careful flying into these head-on. Kriegsmarine here, keeping up the pressure, but Gonzo's pressure in the north is still mounting as well. Off-map did hit a couple of units, but not most of them did get out of there before the off-map hit. Not the most successful off-map of all time. Storm Pioneers, one of them go down, the other one able to deal with the Stomoriki rocks. Engagements here on the hill, still going on, but Dejaniki DT holding the hill pretty well with the 3 DT rifle. Stomoriki rocks coming up as well. Tengudis and Nikki will try to get up there too. Scharfschützen coming in from the rear. 13-11 for Khers, but flags don't really matter here. It's all about positional play. Dejaniki DT should be easily beating the Kriegsmarine infantry, as they only have a single mediocre MG. Brandenburgers with their 2 MG42s a bit better. And the AR-196 comes around once more. Also has 2 bombs next to this, the 220mm. Could also come in for a small bombing run, and not just the off-map. But Khers is not using it for that purpose. Meanwhile, the south gets overwhelmed once more by Gonzo, and Khers not able to get into this forest just yet. 2 Ses2s up here now. Tengudis and Nikis running into the Storm Pioneers. Able to overwhelm it there. One of the Tengudis and Nikis though gets heavy fire on top of it as it runs a bit too deep. Gets spotted by a lot of guns there. 12-12 still going on. Brandenburger hitting the Maxim, getting the kill. 50 cal off the half-track, pins down the Brandenburger though. Mac with their TNT versus Tengudis and Nikki. Not able to get it off though. Get killed off before. Pioneers coming in. There's a Nikis and Tengudis and Nikki under fire here. Pioneers aiming. Gonzo not retreating in time, so the TNT will fly. But fallback should allow the Tengudis and Nikki to survive. Not that there's a Nikki DT though. The Nikki DT gets taken out by a TNT. Marine infantry here has to disengage away from the Tengudis and Nikki. Pioneers most likely will die before the TNT reloads. Tengudis and Nikki had to reload there for a split second. But TNT doesn't quite get out. Whilst Khers now is setting up a position to at least have the northern town under lockdown and maybe keep a small little bridgehead alive into it. Now assaulting the south with a Stuk as well. Nothing here to stop a Stuk. The forest fight is still pretty tough as well. Small little tank tries to help out against the half-tracks. D34 is around here as well though. And the Tengudis and Nikki and Stomoriki rocks now hold this forest pretty well. Khers push not quite working out. AR-196 now coming in for the south with its last off-map. No AA around here. Not using its bombing run though. But also get maybe a kill with its 50kg bombs on some infantry each time as well. But that's not what Khers is using it for. Maybe even forgetting about it. That there's 2 50kg bombs below this. And the 50 cal trucks actually capable of pushing this back. You don't see that too often, that 50 cal against AA have any effect. V25 here, hitting the Kriegsmarine infantry pretty well. Gonzo up to the 1311, whilst the Marder is trying to get the Tengudis and Nikki killed off. And more reinforcements coming in here, in good numbers, holding long engagement ranges. Pioneers might be able to blow up these Tengudis and Nikkis here. One of them going down. Sub-Perry Comrade has a TNT, has a PTRD. Interesting leader unit. Has radio, 6-man squadron, so pretty good Soviet leader, but obviously also quite expensive. BF-109 got a bombing run in here, but Khers' problem is really that he didn't overwhelm this hill, and that was what the investment went into. And being stuck in the valley is not great. Being shot from all sides in a valley, not really the perfect military scenario. BF-109 having to fall back here. Luck 36. But move forward. 120mm mortar coming in. And these have radio. These are absolutely amazing. One of my favorite units in the game. The 120mm radio mortar can do a lot of good jobs if you have radio coverage, as 120mm usually has the big issue that it's super inaccurate, but the shells itself do good damage, and if you can take out the issue of being inaccurate, this thing just absolutely hurts. You can hit a good formation of infantry or so, or anti-tank gun. That thing can take it out pretty easily usually. Meanwhile, the northern situation not getting any better here for Khers. Gonzo has it under lockdown as well still. But Khers coming in with a push for the south again. Panzerjäger RSO on the way, MG34s. Scharfschützen and some more artillery pieces that are here for direct fire support. Coming in, as these are super cheap, 35 points. And they can do the job of direct fire support pretty well. 50kg bombs not having too much of an effect. But Stuk is moving forward and there's nothing to stop here. Nothing with any penetration power whatsoever. So Stuk can just roll through and kill the half-tracks maybe. We'll get the shot on the first one. And then infantry will have an easier time taking this. Okay, support coming in over here. 12-12 still going on. MG42 trying to help out, but Dezhantnikis are decent even on this range here, as they are in cover, and the MG42 is out in the open. Marner over here has to retreat. OB25 trying to get the kill. Maros coming in, but there's no great spot for them. OB25s and Cis-2s might be able to kill them off. Yeah, the Maros are stranded there, basically. 13-11 happening for Gonzo once more. Stuk killed one half-track, killed an infantry unit. Will allow the Brandenburgers here to come up. Stomoviki's coming up. The Valentine has chances of penetrating the Stuk. Great rate of fire. One of the best tank killer tanks in the game. So that could be an option, but till then there's still no anti-tank capability up on this hill. So more Katyushas. Okay, Gonzo seems to like those. Another one comes around. That's the 120mm mortar. Is trying to hit something behind the lines here. Not quite on target though. Moviki Rocks gets hit pretty hard. Brandenburger gets pushed back by the half-track here though. Stuk not able to engage that from this angle. That's the 120mm mortar is doing a good damage here onto the Scharfschützen. Trying to get the kill there. Not quite succeeding just yet. Moviki Rocks in the north. We'll try to get into a forest on the way there. Kriegsmarine infantry is around. 13-11. Picking continuously. More Katyushas on the battlefield. These could be really deadly onto this hill as well. Whilst the Maros, if they can get into a good spot, they can win these hills easily for Khers. Question is, will they be able to achieve that? Brandenburgers, also good on the mid-ranges. With their G42s, 43s and the MG42s. And in CQC, obviously, a TNT never hurts either. At least not yourself. Brandenburger go down here, though, to overwhelming SMG firepower on Gonzo's side. AR being used as a bomber down here. Not quite able to get onto the Stomoviki's Rocks, though. Interesting unit to send up there for Gonzo. Just, I guess, wants to make sure that there's no anti-tank guns or so coming up in this forest. That then can hit this position. BF-109 tries to use its bomb, but yeah, there's a 37mm. Not gonna happen. And Gonzo slowly but surely pushes this game forward. Oh, 340mm off map here. Now coming in. Question where this is. I wonder where this is gonna be placed. Okay. Okay, directly down here. Still flying around. Maros made it up onto this hill. More Maros for the center. Could have also maybe been placed down here. Going this deep doesn't allow your opponent to quite know where you placed it. So, good move there. Usually you obviously only want to keep the off-map lane on your side, so that the enemy doesn't have a chance of killing it off. But if you fly it a bit deeper, then you could also maybe put it onto their artillery or so. So they don't quite know where it's coming down. But it's going down at the spot where it first aimed for. And that should allow the Maros to get through here. Unless they're pinned down themselves. The 340mm off-map here, pretty effective. Killing off a good amount of units. But also, as I said, yeah, that's the danger. Pinning a couple of units here off Khers as well. Maros, not part of them though, so they could push through now here. Solid flag under push by the Dejan Rajvedka and the Stromoviki Rocks. Maros want the 120mm engagement here basically. Maybe even want to step out of the forest to engage this. But the battery Führer will bring extra veterancy up. And Gonzo is still in a commanding position up in the north. Like, this position is basically unbeatable by now. So Khers has to try to win the south. Investing more into the north, I think, is a bit of a waste. Like, you need to keep it on lockdown, but like trying to push back in there is not really a possibility anymore. Battery Führer also going a bit too deep. And the 120mm mortar getting on top off to this position here. Not having radio coverage though, so it's not as effective as it could be. Maros come in, but Stromoviki Rocks had time to recover. Will make it in here again, and the leader is the first unit to engage, and that's never great, as that means all these units will lose one level of veterancy afterwards, with which they otherwise could have done a really good job here. Stromoviki Rocks still take good damage from the first Maro engagement. Now run to the second one, and as you can see, yeah, 12 Berettas just annihilate infantry units. Those 3 Stromoviki Rocks not even having the time to aim their flamethrowers. So the Maros just annihilated those. But IL-4 is pretty efficient here at bombing this. Bombs landing. Maros getting heavily damaged there. One nearly going down. The other one taking some damage. 340mm off map this time on the south. Let's see how effective it will be here. Could maybe break this position as well. Maros getting into a safer distance this time. Bit away from the circle. Okay. 2 Su-76s falling. Stromoviki Rocks getting annihilated. No direct hit into this forest. Valentine in the rear though goes down as well. So the 340mm off map here, pretty effective. Maros now moving in. Katyushas though coming in to kill off the AA. And with 2 Katyushas you should be able to usually guarantee that, and that's what is happening. Sniperis and Dejan Rajvedka pushing out the Maros here. Only a couple of units left over here, as the Dushkas do a good job at keeping this pinned down and killing it off. And Gonzo keeps the 1410 up. Still no 59, but keeps the 1410 up. Now a 1311 has ticked down Khers a good bit by now. And we are about to hit C-phase, and then both sides will have really little income to play with for the rest of the game. The good times will be over at that stage. So what is on the battlefield now is really important for the rest of the game. Has a lot of potential. Maros here running into the open though, not the best idea. Stuck maybe could push a bit deeper though. Could pose a threat to incoming units. Like the Stromoviki Rocks. 3 of them try to come to the south now. Maro not going quite deep enough here, but this one gets killed off. 120mm and Katyusha doing a good job here in general against Khers forces. And the north is pretty brutal grind here, but obviously Gonzo in the way better position, allowing Gonzo to get some really nice trades in there. Maro's trying to come in, but as offensive unit they're not as great as defensive unit. Will at least outrange the Tanko Desaniki over here. Well, will still annihilate both. So I guess I might have been wrong there with that statement. MG42 helping out from the rear onto the Desert Nikki DT. Maro should be able to get in there in a split second. Maro over here though, under heavy fire. One runs into a lot of opposition. The other one gets the kill though. It's insane how much firepower these units have. MG42 from the rear Trying to help out. Don't Wiki Rocks make it in here though. And the 12-12 is re-established. Khers needs more though. But the BF-109 bomber can be pretty helpful by getting the success over here. Maros at least have some success in the north as well. MG08 trying to help out down here. RSO somehow dealing some damage as well. Gonzo, I guess, also hasn't microed too much up here in the lately, but brings in more units to hold the line. Whilst the AR-196 are abusing the fact that there's still no AA here for Gonzo in the middle. So good usage of these off-map planes that don't have any off-map load left. They still can do some job here. Trying to kill off the Katyusha. That would be a good one. AR even could come down for ground strafing with 220mm actually. 37mm coming up. IL-2 will try to get a kill as well. First one goes down, but the Katyusha at least gets killed as well. 37mm though should be able to get the kill here. Or if not, the Katyusha will. The IL-2 will. Botsbesatzung coming up. Khers for the first time on the 1410 here. Taking down Gonzo this time. Ooh. Plane in the rear goes down. Gets the 237mm. Got the BF-109 there in the end. That's not great for Khers. But 1410 is on. Khers needs to break this down here though. North still going somewhat well. I mean, the south could be broken, though obviously Toulon is not the fastest division of all the immobile units. The Maros could maybe try to find an angle where they can engage here from slightly more than 100 meters. That's always the angle you want to fight, where you can where you can engage the enemy from like 110 to 120 meters or so, and just absolutely annihilate them because their SMGs can't fire back at you. Wiki Rocks here though will kill off this Maro. More Maros on the way. Smelling the Pioneers as well, but they won't be able to get that TNT off here. Was close, but Wiki Rocks able to finish it off. And Maros in a 1v1 also will have a tough time. And these Maros down here, not quite on a 1v1 though, but still will get pinned down. Not surrendered because there's unit close enough, but they will die off eventually if they stay here. Maro over here got killed off. 12-12 once more for Gonzo. That's the Wiki Rocks tried to hold the line. Down here as well. Dejaniki coming in, as we are on sea phase. 15-point infantry in sea phase is obviously really nice to hold the line, as you can still afford 5 of them per tick. And they come also with great availability. So, having them come around is pretty good as well here for Gonzo. Whilst MG8 tries to pin down the SIS-3. Sicherung's moving forward as well. Khers really tries to retake the town, but there's a lot of defensive fire. And even if he might succeed here, Gonzo still traded pretty well in the defensive play there. T-34 coming up, whilst the mortar from the rear is trying to get some more kills as well. 12-12 is still on though. Another Maro coming in. With a leader this time to try to beat off Wiki Rocks. Kriegsmarine and Pioneers and Maros were able to achieve that in the center. Maro over here, 2-star veteran C, does get the kill into the Dejaniki. Has to reload here though, so ain't able to deal with these Dejanikis in time. As reload time is super long if you're down to 1 man. So the Dejanikis will be able to at least get in here. Should be able to maybe get this flag as well if Gonzo is moving far enough forward, which would re-establish the 12-12. And there we go. Whilst both sides are now really low on income. Dejanikis coming in numbers though, as I said. You can afford quite a couple of them. 3 coming in the north, 2 in the south. That's 75 points. So still leaves you up 5 points for something else. Duschka over here though, under fire by Stuk. Kriegsmarine Bootsbesatzung, also pretty solid long-range fire support unit with 3 MG34s. And can deal some damage in CQC as well, though obviously for 35 points this is not the most efficient CQC unit out there. Stuk versus T-34 though, not good for Gonzo. Wants to disengage here, will do so. Good micro there. Once more from our Spanish player there. Sicherung's moving forward. More Sicherung's trying to come in from the side. Stormovikis, though, obviously really dangerous. 3-star veterancy. You don't want to run into these PPSHs, and the TNT also really scary as well. 1410 for Khers for now, though. Has the flag down here, has the flags up here. Only lost one flag in the town. Like, lost a lot of space in the town, but the town... actually lost 2 flags in the town. So I guess... yeah, this flag also is a red flag at the beginning. So 4 red flags have been taken. SU-76 over here. Gets killed off. Ooh, Flak 38 though. Under fire by the SIS-3. And that does good damage there. RSO getting overwhelmed as well by the Valentine. Good trades here for Gonzo. Important trades for Gonzo, as Gonzo can't lose the town in the north. Losing the town in the north would be devastating, as that would allow Khers to invest even more into the south, or force Gonzo to invest more into the north. Whilst currently everything is needed to keep this under lockdown here. This can't be a full-on breakthrough for Khers. Gonzo needs to keep the pressure on top of this. As the 120mm mortar are trying to kill off the 47mm artillery piece. Flak 38 sitting around in the rear, now recovering. Maro versus Tomoviki here, trying its best. Dejaniki in the building though, should be able to deal with it. Kriegsmarine Bootsbesatzung had to run away, but still got a TNT on top, and Khers not able to break this position just yet. Some artillery here would be nice. 1311 is still on, but Katyushas get another kill. 1410 once more now. Can Khers keep this tick up? Or will Gonzo be able to bring out enough artillery firepower and enough cheap infantry spam to get it back to a 12-12, which at this stage would be enough for the victory. Another Flak 41 coming up for the center. Kriegsmarine Bootsbesatzung getting overwhelmed here. As I said, on CQC they're not the most efficient. They want to engage onto a bit further ranges. Everything above 101 meter is great. L4 though. Yeah, Gonzo with the maybe better long-range fire support now. With the artillery, with the bombers. Bombers on Khers side is dying. Artillery never came up outside of the direct fire ones, which didn't do too much, to be honest. And the Maros and the Sicherungs being pinned down, and the... Oh, this is amazing for Gonzo. He would not have been able to deal with the Maros and the leader with just Desert Nikis, but the IL-2 allowing them to get the surrender on all of them. First of all, bit slow reaction here from Khers, but also great play there for Gonzo. Getting this force back under control. And there's currently not enough infantry here around for Khers to contest that. Yes. In the north, the position is rather grim as well. Gonzo still holding on to this. No artillery able to dislodge this. Pak 40 trying to come in. Sicherungs trying to come in. Valentine still around. There's an anti-tank gun at least here. So the Valentine has to be careful. Valentine obviously also not great against infantry in general, but this position is just under such heavy lockdown now with 3 Dejanikis around. You can't just run into that. Artillery pieces keep on firing. Now trying to hunt down a Stuk. If that works out, that would be pretty brutal for Khers here as well. This is both a leader and a Stuk. Stuk meaning that it can out-trade the T-34s quite easily. But not if it's going down, and it's going down here in the end. Radio provided by this Dejant Red Redgar there, allowing the 120mm to be so accurate, and that's what I'm talking about. The 120mm can murder tanks if it's on target, and thanks to the radio it was in that case. And 2 shots of each mortar were enough to send this Stuk into another dimension or so, or at least blow it into smithereens. 120mm coming in over here. Martyr under heavy fire. Will most likely go down relatively quickly as well, if it doesn't disengage. Yeah, this is not looking hot here. Khers on the 1311. But losing a lot of important forces right now. And Gonzo still ahead in the tick. So, seems like Gonzo might be grinding out another success slowly but surely. Obviously still needs to get it away from the 1311. Still needs to capture another flag, but has 20 minutes... Well, not 20 minutes. Has like 3 minutes for it till... Khers will take over the advantage. But in general, still 20 minutes to play the game. And it's starting to look pretty good. Question is there more supply? Or will the artillery run out? But even then, the air is still around. AA on the side of Khers is rather lackluster. Infantry in the north, though. Park 40 at least killed the T-34. Pioneers and Maros tried to kill the Deshanikis. IL-2... Ooh, not hitting anything here, basically. That was pretty bad. Okay, Khers gets the flag back here. I still don't quite understand why there's no artillery whatsoever from Khers, though. Like, some mortars could have been helpful all along in this game. Or, like, any kind of artillery. So seeing Khers play without artillery at all is a bit weird to me. 1311 is still up, though. Gonzo's health bar getting pretty close. But Panzerjäger RSO falls. Yeah, if Gonzo can keep the artillery supplied and can keep Khers' air defense low, then I think Gonzo is on a good way to victory here. Kriegsmarine Bootsbesatzungen coming in. More fire support. Doesn't help you though if artillery rains down on you and can kill them off. Question is, are there any more support? Sicherungs coming in as well. Stoke 3G. We'll try to hit the Su-76s over here. Should be pretty good for that. 1410 for Khers. 59 obviously would be great, then he could even try to get an advantage for a while. Got the flag in the in the town. For a short bit here now. As the Sicherungs is under fire. But the fire support is behind it. It's an interesting fight here. Dushka versus MG42, MG8 and Pak 36. Pak 36 already pinned down though. That's not great. Marder trying to come up. Trying to help out. Kriegsmarine Bootsbesatzung under fire from the Shomorviki. But has more firepower. No artillery, I just really don't understand. Like, yeah, the bombers were a good idea beforehand, but some indirect fire is kind of needed to deal with these Dejanikis in these buildings and so on. You can't just run into PPSH units and expect to trade well. PPSH units in buildings always will trade well against you. Trying to get Dejanikis out here is just so brutal. And the IL-4 will help out Gonzo there once more. Gonzo now slightly behind though. Khers did it, in that regard at least. But now needs to hold out to a 12-12 for long enough for that to actually matter. And it's still 18 minutes on the clock, and the artillery and the bombs of Gonzo are relentless. Sicherung is dropping to the Dejanikis. More Dejanikis coming in. Cis-3 trying to hit the MG8. Does pin down the Pak 36 instead though. MG8 still firing, but not quite good enough to kill off the Cis-3 in time. Dushka now coming in again. 1311 still up. Cis-3 and 37mm. Set up in the south for some long-range support. IL-2 coming in. No AA on the side of Khers. That is around here right now. And the artillery and bombs of Gonzo just seem to really get through right now. Artillery fire onto the south. Going pretty well as well. Katyusha. MG8 here under fire. Cis-3 should be able to finish that off eventually. Yeah, there we go. And Gonzo brings it back to a 12-12. Khers now at the advantage, but 16 minutes still to play. And Khers seems to run dry on a lot of things here right now. Obviously, both players packed for a Maverick game. That usually ain't for 50 minutes. You want to have some more veterancy. You want to have some more choices in A phase, meaning that you bring out less stuff in late game. And you have less choices or no choices at all in the late game anymore because all of your lower availability units already have been used up early on. Okay, Khers brings it back to 1311 here for a split second. Before this flag goes back to Gonzo. Front line though is pretty deep. Flag 36 needs to disengage. Flag goes under Gonzo's control in the north. Flag in the center also close to falling. More Dejanikis, more T-34s coming up. Dejaniki in the rear. Chilling in the light forest. Yeah. Yes. Just losing the long game here now. Sis-3 coming in. 37mm helping out as well. MG34 here, not standing a chance. Stuk at least trying to get the kill onto the T-34. Might not be great for the T-34, but IL-237 is around. No AA whatsoever. And that means the Stuk is down, and that means the T-34s don't have to fear too much down here anymore. Sis-3 also can fire onto this MG34 for the rest of its life. And the Pak-36 over here is in a lot of trouble as well. Goes down. Pak-36 from over here tries to help out. IL-237 is out. And there's a flak thrilling in the rear, but I mean the damage already has been done by the IL-2. The Stuk was the important unit. And the 1311 will should be good enough, should be fast enough here to finish Khers off. Pak-36 trying its best to stop the T-34s. But will now fall back as it realized that's not quite doable. Su-76 meanwhile trying to hit the Kriegsmarine Bootsbesatzung South, still under hold by Khers. But a lot of units dying in the north as well. Marder at least surviving for now. No artillery still, as I said. The mortar constantly firing for Gonzo. Now hitting the Sicherungs around here. That will be another flag for Gonzo. Gonzo now ahead again. And I don't see the firepower here for Khers to get it back into a 1311. Well, it's Gonzo, as I said. There's cheap, affordable units here with 30 VDV are really important. Supply truck coming in as well, helping out the Katyusha. Once these mortars keep on slapping. Sicherungs on the fire. Should be the flag of Gonzo now. Well, doesn't seem to be quite the case yet. T-34 is moving forward. More Dejanikis coming in. IL-2 M3 trying to come in as well. Flak Zwilling 37mm not unloaded yet. So the 1410 is continuing. IL-2M should be able to kill the MG. Yes, it does. Big bombs dropping onto the Sicherungs. Dejaniki should be up to surrender that, and the 59 is real. The 59 means 9 minutes for Khers. 9 minutes more of suffering under artillery and bombs. And they're not having the infantry anymore. The Maros are all not quite efficient. Like, if the Maro, with a bit better Maro positioning sometimes, I think Khers would have had a really good shot here. And was a pretty close game as well. For sure not super outclassed or anything, just Gonzo being that small bit better that he always seems to be compared to other Division 1 players, once more. But, yeah, it strikes once more here, it seems. As the 59 is for sure taking down Khers quite quickly now. And there's few possibilities of any left for Khers to turn this into a ticking game for him again. Katyushas, 120mm mortars. Pak-40 is around, but the artillery already on the way of trying to deal with that. And once that is down, the T-34s can just roll through the south. Dejaniki slightly overeager here for Gonzo. But the 59 is on once more. Artillery coming in onto the Pak-40. Ooh, smooth hits. Smooth hits. Kriegsmarine Bootsbesatzung coming in from the rear. Okay, the last couple of shots not so great. Katyusha though, coming in on the north. Trying to hit the Pak 40 and Flak 36. That's why you want to have usually 2 Katyusha salvos, and that's why you want to have Katyushas a bit closer. Their spread can be a bit unreliable. In this case, they don't really do much. The Pak 40 still has to run though, so the T-34 can try to abuse that by hitting it permanently. So it doesn't recover and that it goes down slowly. Pak 40 here, once more under fire by the 120mm. T-34 is also moving in. And by now, Khers is down to slightly over 10 units. Not much more than that. What's on the other side? Gonzo still has like 30 or so. And at least a bit more supply left. Keep the artillery firing. T-34 now coming in. Engaging the Pak 40. Flak 41 trying to come up. Oh, that's going way too deep. Will get unloaded. Will try to aim, but 2 T-34s this close with 2 DTs each. Should be able to pin it down. Tejan Redredka also coming in. One of the T-34s at least goes down, but now pinned down. Flak 40 unpinned, so T-34 will switch target. And pin it again, before it can shoot. As they all spotted. And the Pak 40 under heavy fire should be close to going down. Scharfschütze goes down as well. 120mm mortar. Trying to finish it off. But Gonzo kinda has this now. Khers gets a couple of flags in the north again. Nikido will try to stop this. Kriegsmarine the Pioneers here would go down pretty quickly here. Yes, there we go. Go down really quickly to that. 1410 on. T-34 is hitting the Kriegsmarine Bootsbesatzung over here. Artillery, so good. I love these 120mm mortars. One of the reasons why 30 VDV is one of my favorite divisions of all time. Though currently I'm somehow not performing as well with them as I used to. Might have to adjust my playstyle a bit. As somehow I really don't have the performance that I once had with them at the moment. Divisions like 4th or Italia, 4th Alpina, Monte Rosa and so on, I'm doing way better with, somehow. Even though 3rd VDV might be at its strongest point ever when it comes to balance, I still somehow don't manage to get the W's I would expect out of them anymore. But Gonzo seems to be doing that. Yes. 120mm mortars now found new targets. Focke-Wulf with AT rockets trying to come in to stop the T-34. Should be able to do it actually. Yeah, T-34 goes down. But the mortars are also on a pretty good targeting. And Gonzo now will capture the south as well. Yes, under heavy fire. Kriegsmarine Bootsbesatzung getting pretty close to dying there as well. The 120mm mortar doing a good job. Flak's filling at least. Keeps the IL-4 at bay. Swilling 37mm is pretty lethal. Gets the kill there. And 59 should be able to go through now for the rest of the game. Katyusha once more striking hard. The artillery advantage just so big. And Khers surrenders. Really surprised to not see Khers bring out any artillery throughout this game. Making it so easy for Gonzo to get the long time raids there. And Gonzo takes it 2-0. Good, like, basically safe in the semifinals now. And good spot of taking Group 1 in first place as well now. So, GGVP there, as Khers already had a W against Skotter. So as long as Gonzo takes at least 1 point off Skotter, he will be for sure first place. And even if he loses, he might still be still has good chances of getting through. So yeah, Khers versus Gonzo. 2-0 here for Gonzo. So Division 1 is shaping up as expected, maybe, with Gonzo and Onord being the one on the 2 victories. And then Incha following in Division 2, having a draw against Fantix, won against Tanner, and Skotter and Quadriview so far without any victories. But we'll see how that shapes up over the next couple of days.